Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder, and welcome to the awesome world of pure British balance in the shape of the Falcon. This is an amazing SPA, and I totally understand if you absolutely will hate me for what you're about to see, because this thing knows no limits. It is perfect meta, and I put a talisman on it to research a lot of the new British vehicles, the South African branch in particular, and I will be occupied long enough with the higher tiers with them playing the Rekat, because the rest of the British tanks is really good with, you know, the stabilizers and APDS, etc., but it gets a bit repetitive and they're basically slow. This thing is not a speed demon either, but it is even more meta. Talking about meta, there can be only one king of War Thunder SPA, and that is still the R3 T20. But I digress. This thing is fantastic. So I just quickly want to talk you through what you can expect from this thing. Let's start with the mobility. We are looking at a 13.4 horsepower to ton ratio. That is not really exciting. That is lackluster. It feels a bit like a heavy tank, especially after having played the Tunguska and the WZ305. This one feels slow. The top speed 48 km per hour forward, 8 km per hour in reverse, no neutral steering, so that is also a bit untypical, but therefore you don't get like punched always in this turn. Oh, by the way, this is just shredding like I like it. I also love the gun sound, by the way. Then let's talk about the armor, or rather, therefore, the lack of. That hit was actually eaten up by the gun barrel, and we traded because I was a bit confused. We were only looking at 10 millimeters of steel armor on the turret and 12 millimeters on the hull. And believe it or not, watch this arty strike. One of the first shells that's actually landing gets me a T-44-100. That was pure luck, has nothing to do with the vehicle, but I wanted to share it with you anyways. I digress. So the armor, not really that great. Mobility is okay-ish, but not really exciting. But now we come to the business end of this monster, and that is the gun system, the gun handling and the ammunition. We're looking at two 30mm HSS 831L cannons, and you have a rate of fire of 620 rounds per minute per gun. So you can run through your 620 rounds in roughly 30 seconds of firing time. And that is a bit of a problem because this is a single clip, which is fantastic since you don't have to reload for the entirety of your ammunition. But you can actually quickly run out of your ammunition, and the reload takes ages. It's basically sitting still with no movement whatsoever in a cap without any sort of ammunition or backup weaponry in the cap for 2 minutes, and then the actual reload of the ammunition once you have it in your tank takes another 50 seconds. So that's almost 3 minutes of doing nothing, and I can't have this. But then there is the gun handling. And it's purely taken out of an arcade, it feels like. 10 degrees of gun depression and 85 degrees of gun elevation are fantastic, and they are bound to a turret rotation speed of 80 degrees per second and 40 degrees of vertical targeting speed, which makes it amazing. And then there is the ammunition. There are other SPA that have even more pen, or a pure APDS belt, just like the Gepard. But then they are limited to only, 40, 60 rounds of APDS in the single clip, which they have to then switch all the time in between. Not with this thing. This thing has basically a normal clip of 4 different rounds. This is one APDS with 110 millimeters of penetration. By the way, I have no idea how I penned that. And 40 degrees of pen at 60 degrees angles of attack. It will fall off at distance, but it certainly will still do with light tanks very well. Especially, there are very lightly armored vehicles, and this is where then the absurdity of this tank comes in, because the next 2 shell types in the 4 shell clip basically are APHE. You're forgiven to think that it's APIT. No, it's APHET with 53 millimeters of penetration and acts like a small APHE round. And then the fourth round is the normal high explosive incendiary tracer, which will most likely one-shot planes. And there you have it. A fantastic clip, fantastic gun handling, and just really perfect for the meta. So I had a lot of fun and I wanted to share this with you. And I hope that you enjoy the compilation as much as I do. And I was not sitting somewhere in the back of the fighting zone. I was going forward and I'm having none of the enemies, and I just shred them as I please. And to be honest, it's about having fun. And I got criticized for, criticizing stuff that I don't like. So overcome, adapt, play Falcon, right? Just shredding things in the smoke, shredding things that are coming around the corner, and with the perfect gun handling, this is just fantastic. And the talisman has really paid off. I will play the heroic card later on when I get to the research of the higher tiers, as this is of lower tier and I have to deal then with a penalty later. But that's not the vehicle's fault per se. And also, because this is pure British balance, this vehicle has a repair cost of only 8,000 silver lines for what it is, for what it can do, for the results that I had. This is actually unthinkable. And a lot of, other SPA, a lot of main battle tanks, heavy tanks have significantly higher repair cost that really hurt them. This is just fantastic. And you can fight everything. You can choose to engage enemies. You have a stabilizer, unlike the WZ-305. You have both anti-tank and anti-vehicle capabilities, anti-aircraft and anti-helicopter capabilities that are very smooth. You are so well fitted to almost every scenario, minus armor and zooming around the edge of the map. The only thing that I would love this to have is also the ability to scout. So when I ever would get annoyed by helicopters, rushing me at the spawn, in this thing, I would welcome them. By the way, only SPA can kill SPA, right? But yeah, this is also a fun example. Watch this. I see a small tank and I see a premium tank. Premium tank shredded. And ASC-57, oh boy, cover your eyes. Cruelty to small tanks. But I'm not done yet, because obviously there's a plane. And that plane is no more. So when you're annoyed by helicopters, you can shred them. If you're annoyed... Yeah, that was my live reaction to that snapshot. And I think I wanted to share it with you. That was like, how did I kill this guy, right? And there is so much dust kicked up, just spraying into the smoke, and fantastic, fantastic. And also, we're about to cap the point. So you can see where my progress lost comes from. It's just fantastic. I absolutely admit that I had fun in this thing. It was just outright, utterly fantastic. In fact, I made it even so that I up-tiered myself artificially to enjoy even more lightly armored targets, because when you see Tiger 2s from the front, that's the first time that their armor actually matters again. But in all honesty, this is fantastic. You get a lot of RP, you have a lot of quick engagements, and it's just fitting the meta, because we have a lot of close quarters brawling knife fights. This is where you can just shred enemy MBTs, pumping a lot of lead into their side, make them explode. You can engage helicopters and aircraft alike. It's just absolutely awesome, especially for somebody like me that still wants to keep up the situational awareness, where you have to look around, and you're suited for all of the very important and regular appearing scenarios, like aircraft, helicopters and tanks. You can engage them alike. So it was actually the screenshot from this battle that I shared on Twitter and said, you know, it has a good balance between tank and plane kills. Obviously I couldn't hit that Stuka because it was so slow, feeling like a Bismarck gunner. Anyway, here you can see 16,500 RP, and that was without a booster but the talisman. So you can see how good the progress is. And well, what is there left to say? Play it, enjoy it. And also because this is Gaijin, only 8k repair cost because balance. That's it for me today, so thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Please give this video a like with it, subscribe if you want to see more, let me know in the comment section what you think about this thing, and as usual, death to helicopters.